Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Facebook and YouTube videos. I'm going to give a moment for everybody to get here. Be sure you comment when you come on. Say hello, where you watching me from. All right, so my name is Debbie Foster. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, and I want to welcome you here today and thank you for taking a little bit of your time to watch my videos. And if you're not watching them live and you're watching them on the replay, be sure you comment and say hello also. And if you have any questions, it looks like my camera's freezing. All right. Maybe I'm talking too fast. It can't catch up with me. So let me know if you can see me okay and hear me okay also. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas. My name is Debbie Foster, and I'm going to go over some housekeeping notes to start with here. We've got a lot going on right now. Today is July 2nd, 2026. So let me bring these up to you. Let's talk about our paper pumpkin kit for July. Let me get my notes out of the way here so we can get on with this. July's paper pumpkin kit is called Hooray for Birthdays, and you've got until July 10th to sign up for this one. And I'm going to get my paperwork out here so I can tell you a little bit about it. It says Hooray for Birthdays, and you've got, like I said, till July 10th to sign up for this. My chair isn't sitting right. I'm sitting here scooching. All right, it says, say happy birthday with stand-up easel cards, perfect for showing off. And you can kind of get a glimpse of what they look like there. Really cute. It makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes, holographic foil accents, pre-cut paper pieces, and printed stickers. And the Stampin' Spot that you'll get with this is going to be the Timid Tiger color. And it's got 2-step flower stamps that let you build multicolored blooms. So that looks really cute. And to go along with that, you can add on the add-on dies. And these are called the Detailed Flora dies. And these are while supplies last. But you have to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in order to get these. So you could sign up for the July Paper Pumpkin Kit and add these on with your order. And it is item number 168664, and the cost is $13 for those dies. So that's a little bit of extras that you can get. And then next, we're going to talk about the July product of the month. It just started yesterday, so it's brand new. It says it's called Begonia Bell Stamp Set, and this is a 2-step stamping, so you're going to get a variation of colors there with your stamping. And it says sentiments to share joy, love, and happy wishes. And the sentiments are best wishes, you are my sunshine, sending lots of happiness your way, and thank you for everything you do. And then you get those images along with that, plus the sentiments. I've got mine ordered and I'm waiting for it to come in. I think it's probably not going to be here till next week. And hopefully I get it before I do my live and I can give you a sample of it. All right. And these are available while supplies last. This goes with a $75 order before tax and shipping. And it'll cost only $5 extra. So with a $75 order, it's $5. And it says get it before it's gone. We did run out of our last month's, the June product of the month was the Wild Bunch. We ran out of that before the time was up. So you might want to be aware of that. And like I said, while supplies last. We've also got the Berry Botanical Vellum specialty paper that was for May for the product of the month. I believe that's still available too. So if you didn't want this month, you could get that with your $75 order. All right. And then we've got a brand new thing going on with Stampin' Up! To get your starter kit. You'll get, okay, I need to see if I can explain this so you can understand it without getting confused. This is the welcome box. You'll get yours when you join Stampin' Up! And let me tell you about that. Okay. Skip a few pages here. I don't need to go into those details. It says, receive a surprise welcome box, a gesture of appreciation, and a warm welcome into the global Stampin' Up! Creative community. What's inside the welcome box? A handwritten welcome letter from Sarah, Stampin' Up! Branded swag. You'll get a pen, a pop-up pencil case, pop-up wastebasket, and an exclusive card kit including kit-size stamp set, full-size clear block, classic Stampin' Spot, and supplies to create 8 hello cards. All right. So to join the team, oops, I'm reading some things that are for just demonstrators here. Let me skip ahead. Okay. All right, so you'll choose me as your team leader, I hope, and accept required agreements, enter a few personal details, pay $100, click submit, and what's included for the $100, you'll receive the Get Started bundle, which includes a coupon code valued at $125 and an 8-pack of catalogs. Okay. You'll use that coupon code when you apply for an order, or use the coupon code on your first order. Order can exceed the coupon code value. Any amount above the coupon code value receives the demonstrator discount. And all right. I think I'm probably confusing you. I should have put this down in simpler terms. I think I may explain it better next time, but the bulk of it is you pay $100 to join Stampin' Up. You'll go through all of that online, and they'll send you a coupon code to use on your first order, which is $125. So you're only spending $100, but you're getting $25 extra of product. And you put your order in, and you can go over that where we couldn't do that before. So it makes it a little bit easier. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. I have my website address for signing up for the welcome box to become a demonstrator is in the description of my video. And I keep sputtering about my words today. I can't seem to spit them out right. Okay, so if you have any questions, reach out to me. I got my email address there for you. And I need to get things out of my way here. Turn my back to you. All right, let's take those off the screen. Get rid of the banners, hide those. And if you're watching me on YouTube, I'd be happy if you hit that subscribe button and the like button, and be sure you ring that little bell to be notified when I go live. And if you're watching me on Facebook, be sure that you like and share my video, and also follow me. I'd appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to get rid of any distractions here that we might have going on. And I'll bring up my comments. Like I said, say hello when you come on. Okay, so we've still got the May to August 2026 catalog going on. Let me put you down to my desk so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, as you can see, we've got the catalog. And we're going to have a new one come out for September, so I'm looking forward to that also. And then we've also got the new July online exclusives that just started yesterday. And lots of things in here. Don't forget about the online exclusives because they're not in a catalog. So you'll click on that in my store and you can go directly to that. Lots of good things we've got for Halloween. And we've got the Violet Dreams collection. And I think I used that last week. So you got a sneak peek of that. The Violet Dreams paper and then stamp set and dies. And then these little adhesive back blooms. You can't really see them really good. I don't know if the camera will pick them up. Yeah, a little bit. And then we've got the Fresh Freesia ribbon. And then we've got Christmas. And we've got some summer bundles. Those are really cute. And some more Christmas. And then we've got a fall, Fun for Fall bundle with the scarecrow. Those are cute. We've got more Christmas and butterflies, some leaves, some more Halloween. And the framed violets is the one that I used last week. And we've got more Halloween and Christmas. And then we can buy them separately. You don't have to buy them as a bundle. So lots of good things in there. Don't miss those. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our projects today. Let me put this out of my way. And we're going to be using the Cutest Crew bundle, the stamps and the dies. Turn it around that way, you can see it better. So that's our first project. Let me show you the card. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Husband's out there mowing, so you probably hear the lawnmower running. He's trying to get it done before it gets too hot out there. We're supposed to be 94 today, and then I'm not sure what the heat index is. Probably like 104. So he'll be in the house all afternoon probably. So here's our first card. So glad we're friends. And just a little hello on the inside. So let's go ahead and get started with that and get our bits and pieces out here. And I've done a lot of the prep work ahead of time. Well, some of it anyway, I should say. I'm going to start out with our thick white, and this is 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and it's scored in the center at 5 1/2 inches. So we're going to burnish that fold line. And we'll set that aside. And then the papers that I'm using are two different packs here. We've got the Artesian Sketch Garden. I'm going to be using this pattern. And also using the Moonlit Flora DSP. And we're using this pattern here. Okay, so let's bring our pieces over here that we've got. Oh, I didn't cut one. All right, I need to bring my paper back here. I didn't cut up my dots. Let me grab that. That's not big enough. I need a bigger piece than that. And this one right here. These papers are all black and white. So you can color them if you want, or you can leave them plain. And let's start out with this one. And I'm going to cut that down to size. It is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8. So let's go with 5 3/8. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 1/8. I can't see. I'm just going to cut it down. So it's 5 3/8 and 4 1/8. I don't know how I missed cutting this one. I thought I had it all prepped really good. Okay, so like I said, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inches. And then we've got another designer series paper. Got something on that one. And this one measures 4 1/8 inches by 4 inches. And that's going to go across the center. Make sure you get the right way. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and attach those. So what is the weather where you are? Are you having a lot of heat too, like we are here in the South? All right, I'm going to try getting glue all over everything right away to start with here. And I got that straight. It doesn't look straight. All right. And of course, I got my work surface with glue on it already. And it's not on there straight. Can I take it back off? All right, looks like we're starting out good here, messing up. All right, let's try this again. I want to put that right up against that edge. Well, it's still got some showing. But we're not going to sweat the small stuff. Let me get the glue off my fingers. All right, and then next we have a layer of black. It's going to go across the center of that. And this measures, I didn't put the measurements down for that. It is 2.5 inches by 4 1/8 inches. And that's going to go across the middle of this. It looks straight. And then we have our basic weight, which is 2 inches by 4 1/8 inches. That's going to go across the center. We're going to use our blending brush, and we're going to add a little color to that. Bring over my scrap paper here. And we're going to use, oops. Can I use the lemon lime twist? This is one of our old stamp pads, but it still works. I haven't replaced it yet. And a blending brush. And I'm just going to give some grass to this bottom layer. You can go as dark as you'd like. I could have done the sky too, but I just left that white. All right, I think that's good. I'll close this up. And then we're going to bring our hats over here, or stamp, and we're going to stamp those. And I'm just going to use our black Memento ink. And we're going to stamp that straight across there. Close up our ink pad. We're going to bring some pens over here. And I'm going to use a variety here. These are our new ink colors. I've got the Crisp Cantaloupe, the Golden Glow, Light and Dark, one Pecan Pie. This is the dark. And our Lemon Lime Twist. So we're going to go ahead and color those. I will start out with our Crisp Cantaloupe. And I'm going to do the light first. I stuck that onto that glue on my table. All right, we're going to color our cats. I could have done this ahead of time, but it doesn't really take a long time to color, so I hope you don't mind. It's kind of relaxing. All right, and I'll come back in with the dark. Use some shading. Well, I think I'll leave that guy. We're going to do the middle cat with the dark crisp cantaloupe. So you got big plans for the 4th of July holiday? We haven't got any. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we'll barbecue or something. Haven't decided. Okay. Crisp cantaloupe. Let's go with the dark pecan pie. We're going to do this little kitty here at the dark. Okay, that's the pecan pie. And now we're going to do the dark golden glow with their next cat that's laying down here. We're going to be going camping here in a couple of weeks, so I'm kind of hoping the weather gets a little bit cooler than what it has been. But if not, we'll deal with it. Thank goodness for air conditioning in our camper. All right, I'm going to use the light golden glow for the other cat. Throw this side off there. It could stick to it permanently. Where I got the glue on there. All right, and our light golden glow cat. All right, and then we're going to color our butterflies using the lemon lime twist. And we're going to do the light first. And alternate them. Every other one's going to be light. And then we'll do it the dark lemon lime twist with the small butterflies. Oh, my head wasn't in the camera there. All right, and then next we're going to stamp the sentiment that says, "So glad we're friends," with our black memento ink. And I'm going to stamp that, the lower portion here. So glad we're friends. And we'll close that up so we don't have accidents happening. All right, now this is going to go across the center of our card. we're going to put it right up against the sides. All right. And next we're going to use the dies that are with that. And we use this one to cut out the paw prints out of basic black. And the other one, we're going to die cut that. But I didn't clean my die out here. Let me do that really quick. Right, and we're going to bring our machine over here, our mini embossing and cut machine. And we're going to run this die through on a little piece of basic black. It's probably like a 1/2 inch by 6 inch maybe. Get that to lay still. Let me grab some washi tape here and secure that down so it doesn't run away from me. And then we'll run that through. My lighting isn't the best today. It's kind of shadowy. I don't know why. All right. Like I said, it was that die. And I'm going to put that on my magnetic dish so I don't lose them. And I didn't cut all the way. I guess I stopped it too soon. There we go. And this is going to go across the bottom layer. I think I'll just put my glue directly down on my paper. I think that'll work. All right, and then the top one will go here. So I want to start out with my footprints going the right direction. And I think I'll do the same with that. Hopefully it matches up right. And I'm going to flip that over and trim that excess off. Oops, I could trim this side off. I have a little extra there. And now we can add that to the front of our card. And we'll have a small border going around it, showing our white card. All right. And then I made a bow using, this is the Golden Glow bordered ribbon. And I've already made a bow, and it's going to go right down here. And grab my mini glue dots to attach that with. And take your pick tool to pop that off. And I'm going to place that just below. I think I want another glue dot in there to hold it steady. And we're going to poof that bow up a little bit, both sides. And we probably need to trim those tails a little bit. So snip them off a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to add some bling to the front of that. I'm going to use the Moody Palette Glossy Dots. And I'm going to grab 3 of the white ones. And I'm going to start out with a large one right there, and then a small one beside that. Yeah. And another small one we'll add up here. Okay. So that's the front of our card. So glad we're friends. And then on the inside, I'm not going to put another layer in there. I'm going to just stamp our sentiment directly on the inside. And it says, just a little hello. And our black memento ink. So just a little hello. Upper center. All right, so that's our first card. So glad we're friends. And just a little hello. If you didn't want to do the cats, you could do the dogs too. So it comes with the dogs and the cats. So you could use the dogs instead if you wanted to. But I thought the cats were kind of cute, something different. All right, so that's card number 1. Let me straighten up here a little bit. We'll move on. I'm going to bring those back over here. I think I used them again. Okay. So card number 2. Our bits and pieces out here. Okay, here's our second card. Sincere thanks. And I didn't put nothing on the inside yet, so I'm kind of debating what I want to put in there. When we get to that part, we'll figure it out, I guess. All right, in this one I used the Fern and Flora bundle. And the dies that go with the Boutique Blossoms dies for the flowers here, and this little one here. And our party banners. And our designer series paper comes from the Moonlit Flora. And we're using this pattern right here. So let me bring these up here and we'll get started. All right, again, I'm using the thick white cardstock, and it's the same measurements, the 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored in the center at 5 1/2 inches. And we're going to burnish that fold line. And Next, we have the Designer Series paper. This measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. It's going to go onto the center of our card. So we can go ahead and attach that, get that done. For all the dimensions and everything, directions will be on my blog later today. So you can check that out. I've got quite a few on there. I think I've got over 500 cards on there with directions, pictures and directions. All right. And then next we have that banner that we've cut out with the party banners. And I used the number 8 banner. And I count from the outside in. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It'd be this one right here, as you can tell. And we're going to set our card aside for a moment because we're going to do some flattering. And I've got the Golden Glow, the dark. I'm going to splatter. So I'm going to take that off and use the brush ends. And I'm going to take my bone folder and we're going to do some whacking. Splatter some of that ink. I'm just toning down that white a little bit. So as much or as little as you want. That looks good there. And I'm going to set that aside, let that dry just a moment. And I'm going to cut my glue gun bottle here. And I'm going to bring my mini machine back over here. We're going to die cut. This is a Golden Glow. And I need the dies for the flowers. All right, so I'm going to use this one. It'll leave an impression. And also this one. Those aside. And need to cut that down just a tiny bit here. It'll fit. Need plates. Oops, got tag along, so we need to take them off. All right, and where you can see it maybe. And we will run those through. Yes, we're still squeaky, Miss Squeaky. And that's how we're cutting right now. We're going to put that aside for a moment. Take your pick tool to pop these out. See, it kind of leaves an impression a little bit. And pop this one out, the larger flower. Well, if I can get a hold of it, there it is. All right, we're going to take those and we're going to add a little bit of the Golden Glow shimmer brush. And we're going to shake it up to mix up all the glitter in it to make sure it's well mixed. And I'm just going to go along those cutout lines a little bit to emphasize the flower. And just following the lines. So there's one. And I'm going to color that a little bit extra right there in that center area. All right, and then we're going to bring our stamps over here. We're going to stamp this small leaf, and something's on my stamp there. I'm going to use Old Olive. All right, stamp some leaves. And I'm going to do one down here first. And another up here. And then another on this right side. Close that. All right, and then I have die cut already. This is the Peaceful Pine cardstock. And we've got two of those, one large one and one smaller one. All right. And then we're going to stamp our flower, little flower. And this comes from the, what is it called? The Boutique Blossoms. Yeah, Boutique Blossom stamp set. It's got a 2-step stamp here. And I need a piece of scrap paper to stamp those. Here's one here. And I'm going to stamp with the solid color first using the Golden Glow stamp pad. Oops. So stamp that there. And then we're going to do the outline with our basic black. Well, I'm going to use our Secret C. I'm going to switch it out a little bit. Secret C. And that's going to be the outline. Let me move these out of the way. I can get this lined up. And let me see if I can figure this out. And there's a crooked one there. We're going to match that. All right, it's not too bad. And bring our die cut machine over here. Well, I've already die cut one out already, so we're just going to use that one. Save a little time. And then also, I've already die cut our basic weight using the label die for that. I'm going to stamp our sentiment again using the Timid Tiger. And it's going to say, sincere thanks. Let me see if I can find it. It's a little. All right, I thought I stuck it up here, but I'm not seeing it. Where did it go? Did I not get that one out? No, it's out here somewhere. Where did it go? It's hiding from me. Well, okay. Huh. That is odd. How could I lose a stamp? Right in there. Oh, it stuck to the back of my package there. Okay, I found it. Maybe the black for it. Okay, Secret C. We're going to stamp that off to the, well, why isn't it sticking to my stamp? Acrylic black, there we go. Sincere thanks. And I'm going to grab my Golden Glow again, and we're going to stamp the framework of that banner with that Golden Glow. And line that up. So it gives you a little border around that. All right, now we can start assembling. Oh, we do have one more die here that I forgot. Two more dies I forgot. So I die cut our basic white with that one leaf pattern. Then I did this as a secret C with that swirly. I'm not sure what kind of leaf that is, or plant, or whatever. It's kind of neat looking though. And pop that out. And I've got a few I need to push out. All right. So this one, and then this one out of our basic white cardstock. And got a couple hang-ons here, tag-alongs. All right, now we can start assembling. Push these all off to the side. Bring this back over here. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that to our card. You could put this up on dimensionals if you want to, but I put these flowers up on dimensionals instead, so I didn't want it to be any higher. Or any thicker for the mailman. All right, we're going to center that on the front of that designer series paper. And see if I'm straight there. It looks like it probably is. All right, we're going to start with our large leaf. It's going to go across this area. Our small leaf is going to go off this side. So I'm going to bring my silicone mat over here and add some glue to the backs of those. And get a hold of it and keep dropping it. And I'm just going to put a little down the center. A little, not a lot. And I'm going to use my reverse tweezers to pick these up with. And this is going to go off this side. And it can hang over the top of that banner. It's okay. And the same with this one. I'm going to go up a little bit more. And we're going to put some glue on the back of this little guy. And again, my reverse tweezers to pick it up with. And this is going to go right about there, I think. Our flowers are going to go over the top of that to cover. And then we've got our white bunches of leaves here. And I'm going to add that off to the side here a little bit. All right, how come I'm not sticking? All right, that should do it. And I'm going to do just a dry fit with our sentiment. It's going to go right about there. Our large flower is going to go here, and the smaller one right there. So I'm going to put these on dimensionals. And I'm going to use the edges of these. I'm almost out. But don't throw them away, they're still good. And like that. Another one there. And I need a small one for this one. Yeah, is that going to work? Getting all stuck on the dimensionals here. Well, it's not going to work. I need a different one. I could use a mini glue dot. Let me do that. Just a small one in the center. All right. And going to attach our sentiment directly down with our adhesive. And I'm going to kind of let it hang off the side of the banner. And here's our larger flower. We'll put right there. And the small flower will go underneath that. And then we've got our Baker's Twine. We colored this using our Golden Glow dark Stampin' blends. And then I let it dry, and then I made a bow. I thought I made a bow. Where did I put it? There it is. I made a triple bow. And that's going to go underneath our flower. And I want my mini glue dots. I'm going to use one of these. They're a little bit smaller than our regular. These come from our paper pumpkin kits. And place that right about there. And attach that. And our little flower goes right here. Oops. Next to the two flowers. And we're going to bling it up using our basic rhinestones. And we start out with a large. Put one there, and then a medium. I'll go right there, and then a small one in the middle of that flower. Okay, so there's the front of our card. Sincere thanks. And on the inside, I'm not really sure. Sincere thanks. What could I use? Oops, I lost my sheet. I think I use the sentiment, you make the world a better place. That might go good with that. And we're using the Secret C stamp pad. We'll stamp that right in the middle. Okay, so here's our second card. Sincere thanks. You make the world a better place. Okay, I like that. And we'll clean up here. Okay, and our next card is, I'm not sure what it's called. I did a search on it, and it says that it's called, what did I write down? A double vision technique. So we're using our designer series paper, and we're cutting 1/2-inch strips, and we're alternating with dimensionals or flat all along the front of that. It says, it's your birthday. So many ways, so many reasons to celebrate. And we're doing heat embossing on this also. So there's a couple of techniques we're using. Okay. So again, we're using the Boutique Blossoms. And we use, where did I put it? Okay, so here's a bundle. It's the Boutique Blossoms. And let me get all my bits and pieces out here. Let me get started. I did do some of the prep work ahead of time, but not all of it. So we're good on time. So we're good. I'm using crumb cake as our card base, and this is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to go ahead and fold that and burnish that fold line. Our bone folder. And we're going to go landscape orientation. And the designer series paper that I'm using comes from the Delicate Dreams. And this is really pretty. It's got one side is regular, and then the other side has the bronze. So it's shiny on one side, not on the other. So we're using this pattern right here. All right, and as our mat, I've got the Hydrangea Hue, and this is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. That'll go on the front of our card, and then our designer series paper on top of that. Designer series paper measures 3 3/4 inches by 5. And I'm going to bring my paper trimmer over here, and we're going to start cutting these in 1/2-inch strips. Heard something strange on my laptop. What was that? I think I'm still connected. All right, we're going to cut these at 1/2-inch strips, and we're going to leave them in the right orientation. So that the patterns will match up when we lay them back down. So there's our first cut. It's a 1/2 inch. I'm going to lay them over here. So you can see they're matching up. I want to pay attention so I don't mess this up. I've only got one sheet cut. Must be getting close to lunchtime. My cereal's wearing off. I'm getting hungry. A couple more here. Oops. Wrong blade. Okay, you probably don't need all of these. I might have an extra one left over. All right, so we're going to bring our layer back over here. I'm not sure I'm going to use that one. I'll have to start and see how I come out here. I'm going to start from the right side. I'm going to use my silicone mat here to add glue. So the first one we're going to glue directly down, and we're going to alternate with dimensional. All right, so which way was this? I think it goes this way. Yeah, so I'm going to put that over against the edge. All right, and this one's going to go up on dimensionals. And I'm using the dimensional strips, the foam adhesive strips, and it's number 141825 for those. And just going to add one strip at a time. So I know people have called this card a different thing, but my search this morning, it came up with the double vision technique. So I guess you can call it anything. All right, now we're going to match these up and bring it down here so I can see to get it even. Oops. See, now I'm already messing up here. Things are sticking to me. I'm going to turn it sideways so I can have a better view. You're going to overlap it just a tiny bit. All right, and the next one we'll glue directly down. Not a camera view here, and I'm messing my things up. Put that underneath just a tiny bit. Match them up. And make sure I got the right one here. Add another strip. Need to scooch this up here. And again, we're matching that up with the one next to it. So we're doing every other one. And dimensional strip again. And glued down. Oops, turned it. And dimensional strip. And the glue down. And this one goes popped up. Oops, let go of that. And to make sure I've got it right. I guess I could have scooched it over a little bit, but we're going to trim off this side to make it even. All right. So you can see the dimension in it. Very pretty. All right, and we're going to bring our cutter over here. I think that's crooked. And down to size. We'll probably cut off 1/4 inch. All right, now this can go onto the card front. All right, so far. And then I die cut some leaves. These came from the Boutique Blossoms dies. I die cut this one out of our, what was that? Earth and Tone metallic paper. So I've got this leaf and 2 smaller ones. This one here and this one here. And those came from, it's called the Earth and Tone metallic 12 by 12 paper. All right, and then we're going to do some stamping. I can put a scrap of white in there. Grab paper. Okay, basic white. And we're going to stamp our flowers. And do some heat embossing also. I'm going to stamp with the hydrangea hue for the background color of the flower. And then I'm going to heat emboss with our copper embossing powder. So we're going to start out with the backgrounds of our flowers, the hydrangea hue. We're going to do two, one of each. And we'll close up our ink pad. And our glue bottle. I'm going to use this for my heat embossing. So I've got my toolkit here, my embossing toolkit. And I'm going to take our embossing buddy. I'm going to make sure there's no static cling on those. My embossing powder don't stick where I don't want it to stick. I've got our Versamark. I've got our copper embossing powder. And I'm going to use the tray today. So I'm going to wipe that out just a little bit to make sure there's nothing in there. No housekeeping. All right. And we'll bring our Versamark pad over. And we'll stamp the little flower first with our embossing, our Versamark ink. And I'm going to match that up onto our stamped image. Let that soak in just a bit. And we'll do the larger flower next. So get this lined up. I might be a little bit off on this one. All right. And then next I'm going to stamp the sentiment, which says it's your birthday. We're going to heat emboss that also with the copper. So let's just stamp that down here. Could have done that on a strip. But it's done now. We're going to leave it as is. And bring our powder over. Dump that on there. And I didn't get good coverage on there. For some reason that didn't stick on there. Let me do this over. We're doing a do-over. Some water everywhere here. And the flowers again. And I'm going to stamp our sentiment again. Where did I put it? Oh, goodness. Ah, right here. And Versamark. your birthday. Okay, that looks good. That way we ain't going to mess it up. And then we're going to stamp our outlines, the Versamark. And now the large flower. And we'll line that up. Put our lid back on our Versamark so we don't get powder in it. And we're just going to dump on there. Okay, that one looks better. Second time is a charm. All right, we're going to set that aside, put that lid on that bottle. And got my heat tool here. We're going to get that warmed up. What's your birthday is good. Let's do our flowers. I was going to melt these while I got it on. I don't know if it's going to do anything with them or not. It's kind of tasty on my fingers. Yeah, I probably didn't have enough Versamark on my image that it didn't leave me very much on there. Okay. All's well. Except I got a messy table now. Let me bring that towel over here to wipe it down a little bit. Need one of those little vacuum cleaner things I've seen people have. All right, we're going to die cut those out. So bring that over here. And these are the dies. And I'm going to have to cut this down to size so it'll fit through my small machine. And plates. Need the plates. right. Put our dies down. And I'm going to use a little washi tape to hold it in place so it doesn't move on us. We don't want to do this all over again. Definitely don't. Oops, that's not sticking. See, I would have messed it up already. And our larger flower. And washi tape up here, yeah. We'll stitch that and use that. And line those up. Put our plates down. Alright, dies. Alright, now we're set. Okay, I'm going to put the larger flower towards the bottom and the smaller flower up above that. And we're going to tuck in these leaves. But I'm going to place my dimensionals down in that open spot. And where did I put my dimensionals? Right here. We might just finish off these dimensionals this time. Where's my take your pick tool? I need to cut these down smaller. And we're going to place them down in the center. And maybe another one right there. Right there. Okay, I think that's enough. Pop those backings off. Take this up underneath that. And then we're going to take our leaves and we're going to just push them in and add a little bit of glue to the back of the leaves. Position that. And we need to get our birthday over here, and we're going to chop that at an angle. And it's going to fit right up underneath this large flower a little bit, just poking out a bit. And I can just put some across there and it'll hold it. And another leaf. This one's going to go down here. I'm just going to put glue at the tips of the bottom leaves here to catch that. And tuck it under. And this one can go up here. glue on the bottom leaves. All right, I didn't add any more bling to it because I figured the copper has got enough shine to it. It doesn't need it. It's your birthday, but you could add rhinestones or something for a little more bling if you wanted to. All right, and on the inside we've got basic white, and I don't have a sheet here for it. Let me grab. It's your birthday, and you could either heat emboss this with the copper, or you could just stamp it like it is. I guess we can go ahead and emboss that. And what did I put on the inside? So many reasons to celebrate. All right, let's bring that paper back over here. We'll do some heat embossing with that. All right. And I'll brush them back over here. Get that into that Versamark ink really good. I think that's what I did wrong with the first flowers. I didn't put enough on it. So many reasons to celebrate. Bring our tray back over here, and I think I've got enough in there to cover it. And got a little bit up here. Can I? Yeah, I don't know if I want to. I'm going to leave as is. And my heat tool. Straighten it out a little bit. All right. So many reasons to celebrate. We'll put that on the inside of our card. Oops, wrong card. I have embossing powder on everything today. So I got a little messy with it. Just a little. All right, this goes on the inside of our card. Keep it straight. Okay, it's your birthday. So many reasons to celebrate. Okay. Let me scoot everything out of the way here. And let's see if I can't do a quick rub down here. And we'll bring our cards back out here. So this was number 1, number 2, and number 3. So I hope you enjoyed these today, and you'll have some time to do some crafting on this holiday weekend, maybe. And I want to thank you for being here, and thank you for shopping with me. And if you have any questions on that join special, reach out to me, and I'll be glad to explain it better to you. I kind of went over it a little fast, and I don't think I explained it that well. But I can help you if you're interested. All right. So next week will be, where's my calendar? July 9th. Yeah, July 9th. But I have a doctor appointment that day, so I'm probably going to do my live on the 10th on that Friday at the same time, same channels. So mark your calendar. I'll be back July 10th at 11 o'clock Central Time. All right, so until then, happy 4th of July. Stay safe. Have a good time with friends and family if that's what you've got in your plans. And we will see you next Friday, July 10th. Bye.